Ready.
I'm here with Wesley College coach Mike Drass. Coach, take us back to last week's game against RPI. What were the things that you were pleased about with the team, and what are some of the things you feel like you guys need to improve on still?
Well, I think I thought the guys did a great job. Made a couple of nice adjustments in the second half. Especially offensively, where we were moving the ball pretty well, but we weren't sustaining drives, and that was good to see. First, the second drive of the second half, we really had a good drive and moved the ball down the field. And even if we get a field goal, that's a scoring opportunity that we capitalize on, and we just kept doing that, we just kept going, and we knew over a course of time that we would be fine. We think that, our offense can move the ball on just about anybody. Defensively, I thought that last week I thought RPI did a good job. They did a lot of RPOs, run pass options, and got us in zone coverage and really had some nice completions there and made some nice plays toward the end zone to get a couple of scores. And I thought they capitalized. We threw an interception, they came back and scored right away. It was good to see our defense. That changed momentum. We talk about that all the time, and we really didn't. The first time we weren't ready. And Dejan got beat. And that was just him not leaning, and he just kind of. I didn't say we wouldn't take a play off. He just kind of put himself out of position, and they beat him. And then the next series, they went right back at him, and he got an interception, which was really nice to see him. He's always had that attitude. The next play is the most important play. This week, Brockport. This is I think a completely different monster for us as far as talent level. They're as good a team as we've seen on film, without question. Hard to find a weakness with them. They have that excellent offensive line, two great running backs. An upper level quarterback, a guy should be playing at a higher level. We think they got a receiver that is, just speed on speed. Number 80 and number 4 is really good. Number 7, their freshman, is a rookie of the year in their conference. 24, and that's not even counting their leading receiver, number 24. So defensively, heck, they're only giving up 20 yards a game rushing. As we look at it, that's a quality team.
13 straight years now, you've won a first-round game, and the team's here on Thanksgiving. Talk a little bit about what the team does. You got a little experience preparing to keep a team on campus while everybody else is at home. How do you go about that?
We talk about it early. Once we get into the playoffs, I think I'll be honest with you. I think it's different. I'm sounding old now. I think kids today are different, I think, than they were 30 years ago or 20 years ago or 15 years ago. And, you have to make sure they understand what's going on. I think you also have to make sure they understand what expectations you have of them. Not only that, but what expectations they have of themselves. I think that's a big thing. They got to understand what the expectation is of themselves, not just for the team, but what should they expect if they're going to be a college football player?
Talk a little bit about injuries. Will we see Nick Glover back this week along the defensive line, and how are you everywhere else? How did you come out of the RPI game injury-wise?
Came out of the RPI game healthy, wealthy and wise. We hope to have Glover back this week. He practiced today, and we expect to have him on the field on Saturday. We're excited about that. We need him on the field. He is, Cam Miles has done a great job. He's done a tremendous job. But we also need to have Nick. Nick is, I think, one of our best defensive line we've had here in a long time. Just so strong. And some of the young guys have really done a good job stepping up.
And is this probably the toughest opponent you've seen in the second round since maybe last year, John Carroll, going back to Mary Hardin Baylor, maybe 10 years back?
Oh, yeah. Someone else was asking me about that. To me, this is a third-round game. This game is a third-round game. These guys are, this is, I don't know, with Linfield, remember I think we played Linfield in the second round.
Yeah.
So, that's what this team reminds me of.
Talk a little bit about Khalid Burrows on offense. He had his maybe his best game passing, career highs in passing yards, touchdowns. his ability and his maturation as a quarterback so far over the course of the year?
It's just been steady. He probably didn't have his best game against Christian Newport at the end of the year, but he was efficient and he helped the team win a game. But every game, you just see him improve, get more comfortable. It's a compliment to Khalid because he worked so hard at it. We're very proud of him. Him being named all conference. That's something that was we're very proud of. When you think back to August, where you had Nick, and you think, hey, Nick Falkenberg is going to be your guy this year, and then all of a sudden, week one, you lose him, and you're wondering what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, Coach Knapp really develops and works with Khalid, and Khalid, steps up and not only plays well, but has been a great teammate, been a very good leader. Been someone that this team can count on.
Another guy you can count on in the running game has been E.J. Lee, over 100 yards, 11 straight games. What's made him so effective this year?
EJ's a different level of player. There's been times when there's been no room to run, and he makes people miss. And if he gets one seam, he'll get through that. He may not be the 4.3 40, but I've never seen a player as elusive and as quick and as strong, as him as a runner in a Wesley uniform. We've been for it. Jamar Baynard, heck, that guy is one of the best football players I ever coached. And EJ's kind of like the great compliment off of what we've had the last couple of years, and a completely different thing. So it's interesting to see how the offense, where we had one way of running a play with Jamar, how we have a different way of running the same play with EJ.
And talk a little bit about the game that Alex Kemp had, over 150 yards or near 250 yards in all-purpose yardage. Really stepping up into that explosive role of playmaker.
Well, Alex to me, can be the best receiver, the best skill kid in the country. I really believe that's how good he can be. He's just scratching the surface on his abilities, and it's fun to watch him play. I was talking to a couple people, on that reverse he ran last week. We said, man, we haven't seen anyone move like that since Larry Beavers. And for someone to mention Larry's name with another guy, because Larry was he ran a 4.28 for the NFL Pro Day. He was a different speed. I think Alex is a different speed on the game field.
Defensively, talking about the way that Sam Romana has been playing at the middle linebacker spot, senior leader, he's really turned up his game, at least tackle-wise, last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's always been our leading tackler. I think every game of the season. Maybe Capadonna was once or twice, but he's I would say this. Sammer is a guy that he's a leader in how he steps on the field at practice. He does the same thing at games, and it's just fun to watch him play. We love him to death. He's our captain, and he's him and Mike Sabino, are two guys that really manned. We always want 6 guys in the box, and those two really have done an outstanding job stopping our opponents.
All right, Coach. Good luck getting win number 10.
Thanks. Got to give me the old Sean handshake. He always goes in there on